recently went to the Harry Potter studios and it was amazing. Now, it was during the Triwizard event. It marked 20 years since the Goblet of Fire came out and it was something else. Now, this vlog isn't going to be quite what you're expecting. My plan was film it, and I didn't for 3 reasons. One, I felt quite unwell on the day. I didn't particularly want to be in front of the camera, if I'm being honest. And 2, it was really busy. It was the first weekend where kids are off from school. Didn't realise that when I booked it. So it was really busy. There were a lot of kids around. It felt wrong to film with that amount of kids around. And 3, it's the last time I was going to be going there before my daughter comes along. And I wanted to just enjoy it. I really just wanted to take it all in, not feel like I was working, and just be able to, yeah, enjoy everything that it offered. So I will insert some photos that were taken and some photos that I've taken from previous trips, because not everything has changed, but we'll get into that. And there is a haul at the end of things that I brought. So what makes this trip different? So of course, like I said, it's the Triwizard event and it was really good. I've been to other events. I've been to the I think it's Weasley's Wizard one, so it's a lot around the Weasleys and stuff like that. And I also went to the 20th anniversary of the Philosopher's Stone. Now, I really wanted to go to the Azkaban one last year, or whenever it came out a few years ago. Missed that, unfortunately, couldn't do that one. But all these events are really fun. And I have also been to the studios when it's just been no event, it's just been every day. Now, if you like Harry Potter, but you don't particularly have a certain film that you like, or you're just kind of interested in it in general, I think you don't necessarily need to plan an event to go, but you can go to so many events because they have every year the same. Sometimes they have new events, but typically they have a Christmas event, they have a Halloween event as well. The Dark Arts event, I think, is always on from like during September to October, I think. So do double check what is going on and what you could end up seeing, and you know, if there's a theme happening at the time. Now, when you walk in to the studios, you have to go through security, which I get, that's fine. And there is a gift shop right next to where you're queuing to get into the actual the tour start. A lot of people do go into the gift shop first. Just an FYI, you do end up back in there. That's where the tour finishes. So don't necessarily think, oh, I'll go in now because, you know, it's quiet or whatever. It's not going to be. It's going to be busy the entire time. Now, the really cool thing about this Triwizards event is that they had demonstrations. Now, I'm not going to tell you all the demonstrations because some of them are behind the scenes secrets that I don't really feel I should share until the event is finished at the end of September, so I can always do a little short and tell you what they were. But some of them are really good. So for instance, there was one with the 2 international schools doing their entrance into the Great Hall. Doesn't happen in the Great Hall, but that was really cool. It was really nice to see that kind of come to life and that artistry come to life as well. They also had an event where you could learn certain spells. Now, I didn't watch that one because I was so engrossed in something else that I was looking at that I didn't watch it. But you've also then got, there's something else in the back lot which you have to see if you go because it's just insane. And then there was another one and I've forgotten what it was now, but oh, at the end, yes, at the end of the tour, you basically end up in a room where it's got this a model of Hogwarts from the outside, where they obviously do a lot of the outside shots. Now, usually on a normal event, it's just lit up with lights. It's very pretty. This time, it had the scene where the dragon is trying to chase Harry on the first tour. Sorry, not tour. The first... What's the word I'm looking for? Words are not my friend today. The first challenge, we'll say that. The first challenge. So that was really special. And the great thing is there's boards around, so it will tell you how long you've got until the next demonstration. So if you want to wait, if you want to come back, that sort of thing. So the tour itself took around 4 hours. And that's not us sitting down to lunch or in the gift shop. That is aside from those things. Like I said, it was extremely busy, so we didn't go on the Hogwarts Express. You can actually get into the Hogwarts Express, walk along, and you end up looking in carriages or in like where the seating area is, and it has a scene from different movies. But we were really hungry at this point, so we were like, right, we'll wait, we'll go have our lunch, and then we'll come back. But the queue got bigger, so we skipped that, and we had seen it before, so we knew what we were seeing. Nothing was actually going to change at that point. With regards to things like the gift shops, so there's 2 gift shops as you go around the studios and one at the end. So the first one you come across is the Forbidden Forest. So just after Forbidden Forest there is a gift shop. Now this just used to be a really small little thing, but now it is an outlet. It's basically discounted stuff that you're not going to get anywhere else. And I kicked myself in not getting a cup that I really wanted, because it's not in any of the other gift shops. So if you see something in there, get it, because you won't have another chance. once you've left, you can't kind of go back and get it. So well, once you've left the tour, I mean, you can't go back on yourself. So yeah, if there's something in there you want, get it at that point. So the backlot cafe, so the bit where we sat and had lunch, and the little restaurants, that's the halfway point really. And the Forbidden Forest is probably, I don't know, it's just around the corner from where the backlot cafe is. So you'll have to carry whatever you buy from the discount shop about halfway, but it's not too bad. The next gift shop is then at platform 9 3/4. Now I've never brought anything from this gift shop either, mostly because it is very platform 9 3/4 coded. It's t-shirts, banners, stuff like that. There are some of the celebration ones there, but you can get the celebration ones at the end as well. So if you wanted something that was maybe more unique to the train station or to the train, definitely pick it up in this one, because I don't know if it is actually available at the end. Now the thing as well with the gift shop at platform 9 3/4 is there's not that much there. I've never walked in and thought, oh, I really want to get that, because I just thought, one, I'd have to carry it around anyway, and 2, nothing's really appealed. Okay, so just bear that in mind. And then the last gift shop is the main one at the very end, and this is the one I've always brought things from. And I'm going to do my haul now, and then I'm going to talk about the things that I did like and the things that I didn't really enjoy at the studios this time round. And I'm going to give you a little perspective going, having been pregnant, and then also not being pregnant. I've gone times before, just in case you're kind of like in that boat, then you know kind of what to expect. So the gift shop at the end, it's amazing. You walk through and there's just wands everywhere before you get into the actual gift shop. And it's a wand, or a wand box should I say, for every cast and crew member that was involved. So that is things like cameramen, catering, lighting, sound effects, the art department. If they were involved in the movies, then there is a wand box on the wall for them. And we spent a bit of time this time looking, and we did last time as well. Now the reason we spent time this time looking is because I was putting my name in the Goblet of Fire at the end, and there was a queue, so I had time to look. But that's another really cool thing that's unique to this event. There's obviously a lot of the stuff is about the Goblet of Fire. So they've maybe moved. If you've been before, you might recognise that things either aren't there anymore, like the table in Malfoy Manor. I didn't see it anywhere. Whereas in previous trips, I've seen it, and it's had Nagini on the table, and the Muggle Studies teacher hanging upside down. So yeah, that was gone. And I noticed that after I left. I thought, oh, I haven't seen that. So there may be certain things that you see aren't there, but also they've kind of restaged certain sets. So for instance, in the potions classroom, I don't remember seeing previously Slughorn in there, but he's in there now. Whether that is just because I didn't notice him before, or whether they've just brought that through, I'm not sure. But certain things like Mad-Eye Moody was in the Great Hall this time. I don't think I've noticed him there before. Just little things that you'll twig are very much because of the movie, and it is really nice to kind of have those things happening, and to kind of see them rising to the occasion. Now I know that if you go at Christmas that they do put fake snow on the Hogwarts model, and that's really impressive. I can't wait to see that eventually. So yeah, if you're particularly into a movie, I would say go and try and get a event. Go when there's an event for that, because you'll probably notice a lot of things that people who just think, I like it, may not notice. But also, a lot of things change on a regular basis. Like they had the inside of the night bus there, and I don't remember that being there before. That was really interesting. But also the things that maybe you think are just just words on a wall, just stop and have a look. This time I stopped and had a look at all the animals that were involved. You know, they had 7 fangs, or 7 dogs playing Fang. All the animals they used were rescues. They found it easier training the birds, I think they said, than the cats. Things like that, just really interesting behind the scenes stuff. Now, there is a lot of verbiage around as well, so like, you know, explaining how things were made or stuff like that. And we did see one thing that really, really intrigued us. I can't quite remember where it is, but just before you go into the Forbidden Forest, there's a statue of, or a prop of Tom Riddle's Muggle father's grave. Now, when you have a look at that, the dates are wrong. I'm not going to tell you why they're wrong. If you want to know, go have a look. Look it up online, but it's really interesting. But again, it's something that I don't think I'd seen before. Obviously was brought out for this event, but it was so cool that I was still learning things about this franchise, especially how it was made, that I didn't know before. Now, I went with some friends, or some mutual friends of mine and my husband. Now, my husband is not into Harry Potter. If you wait for the next episode of my podcast, Proper Nerd Stuff, we're going to talk about Harry Potter, talk about his interest or his disinterest, and how he feels the studio tour is for someone who's not really a Potterhead. But he enjoys the day because he enjoys the craftsmanship. He doesn't enjoy the story, but he appreciates the craftsmanship that goes into things like this. So, you know, even if you're not a Potter fan, or you like it, or you tolerate it, but you're really into like behind the scenes stuff, I think this is such a perfect thing to do. You can find out so much information, and it's so interesting. But let's do the haul next. So I will tell you that I only got 3 things. I did go there to buy a Loungefly bag as well, because sometimes they have them. Couldn't get it, they just weren't there. They also now actually have a little jewellery section, or like a little kind of like collectibles, memorabilia section, and I was going to get a ring. Unfortunately I didn't have my size, so I am going to be getting it online for my birthday, so stay tuned for that in August. But the gift shop is vast, it is massive, and I was overwhelmed at one point, to the point that my husband had to come and help me pick out what it was I wanted, partly because there's so much choice, and partly because there are so many people, and I struggle with anxiety in big crowds anyway. I am diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and sometimes find social situations like that, or situations where there's so many people, quite overwhelming. I can get quite teary and I can get quite nervous. So he did come and actually take me, and we went to one side and was like, right, what is it you want? Let's have a look. And you know what? It was exactly what I needed. So I did only buy 3 things. Now, the first thing I brought, or the first thing I picked up, was, of course, a wand. Now every wand that you get does come with a free wand bag. Now if you have been to Orlando, you can actually get a bag that says Ollivander on. I do have one of those because my first wand I ever brought, which was the Elder wand, I believe it was, I got from Orlando, and it says Ollivander. Let me know if you want a haul of my wands. There's a story behind every one as to why I've got them. So I love talking about my wands, so if you do want a video, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. Now, I didn't go in necessarily knowing which wand I wanted to get. I knew that you can't always get them. They do change on a regular basis. Now they do celebration wands, which I mentioned earlier, and these aren't character wands. These are wands that celebrate a certain aspect of Harry Potter. So you've got a golden snitch wand, which I have. You've got one which is maybe based on the diadem of Ravenclaw. You've got a bowtruckle wand, stuff like that. So if maybe there's not a character that you're after, you can still get a wand which has got characteristics of its own and is still really nice. Now each wand varies in price. In the discount section, or the discount store I was telling you about, they're about £15 because they're on sale, and they were the Fantastic Beasts ones. This one I got, I believe, was £32, and you can actually get them engraved for an extra £5. I'm not sure what I would have engraved it with, so I haven't got mine engraved. Each one comes with a really nice box, and the box again is different per wand. I've never had a green box before, and this time I got Hermione's wand. Now the wands, yeah, look, they just take this out, and then there is the wand. Now they do come out, obviously. They're so weighty. They're so nice and weighty, and this is what it looks like up close. I'll put the specs on screen as to what this is made of in the film because I'm not sure off the top of my head. And there is on here as well, it does actually have it marked, stamped, so you can tell that it is a genuine wand from the Warner Brothers Studios. Now you can buy these wands from their website, from the studio website if you wanted to. Alternatively, the Noble Collection is another amazing place to get replicas, not just of Harry Potter, but of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Wicked, Fantastic Beasts. There's so many things on there, so do check it out. If you ever go to the studios and there's something that you want they don't have, or maybe they display it but they don't sell it, which does happen, then definitely check online. But this was about £32, I think. The next thing I got was a bit random, but I saw it and I had to have it, and it was the Hungarian Horntail plush. Now this one I got as well. You might have seen the short I've got online on YouTube and TikTok where my dog goes crazy and starts barking at it. Didn't have the same reaction with this one. This one was £22, so it is really expensive for a stuffed toy. Now for myself, this is going to become a background prop. As you can see, my background is changing. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it as it is or if I'm going to be changing it, but I am trying to get more me in the background. Now this one here was £19.95. I think this was more expensive because it is obviously the event. I don't remember seeing that this time round, so if there is something that you like, don't necessarily just think I'll get it next time, because chances are it's not going to be there. But yeah, so this is the Hungarian Horntail plush that I got as well. And the last thing I got, because I missed out on that cup and I was silly and I should have got it, I actually got a different cup. I got this Slytherin cup, so that I am a Slytherin. It was £14. It's dishwasher and microwave safe, which is amazing. And it comes in, I mean, look how good this wrapping paper is, this like tissue. I mean, it's just fantastic. Every detail gets thought about. But yeah, I got this cup as well, and I think they did them in all houses. They do have some stuff which is Harry Potter's birthday themed, because obviously its birthday is in July. But there is so much in there, like I said. It can be a little bit overwhelming. Usually I go in knowing what character wand I'm going to get. This time I wasn't sure, which is why I think I kind of ended up being a bit overwhelmed. But the cool thing is all the wands are out, so you can have a look and you can hold them and see what you think, and then you can grab a box. Now, I would be honest, so where all the wands are behind you, if you're not familiar with the studios, I wouldn't grab one of the wand boxes from underneath, where there's a guy basically standing there and he'll show you the wands and talk you through the wands. And underneath where all the wands are showing, there's these boxes. But if you turn around and go to a wall, which is usually empty because it doesn't look like you should really be grabbing things from there, but you can. This is where I found this, and I got a box that was like a couple of boxes down, so I knew people hadn't been pulling it out and playing with it. And also do double check it's the right wand inside, because usually they do that at the till, but they didn't this time, so I'm glad that I checked it was the wand I was expecting. So the last thing really, or the last two things really to talk about, so the things I didn't really like about the studio, there isn't really anything. I know that sounds like a cop-out, but at the end of the day, the studios are there for enthusiasts and for people who like the franchise. Now, I know there's a lot going on right now around J.K. Rowling, and she always seems to put her foot in it, and she's upset a lot of people. And I've said this before, the views on this channel are my own. They're not endorsed by anyone. I'm not being paid to do any of this. I'm not being paid to say anything. Any view of this is my own. Any view of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, goodness, Star Wars, they're all coming from me. They're not something that I've read online and believe. So I just want to kind of get that out there. Now, I love the franchise. I love the world that is the Wizarding world. I love Fantastic Beasts as well. I've separated that from the author. To me, that author is not associated when I go to the studios. Okay, now there is a bit where she is talking at the very beginning, but after that you don't really hear from her. You don't see her anywhere, I've not noticed anyway as well. So I go because I love the franchise, and it brought me a lot of joy in a time where I had no friends. The books brought me a lot of joy when I had no friends. And it actually allowed me to meet people and to make friends through a love of Harry Potter as well. So I'm always appreciative of that. But I go to these things because, and I make this content because I love the world and I love being able to escape into it. So yeah, that's kind of, that's where that sits. Now, one thing I would say for anyone who is pregnant or is going to be pregnant when they go next, or is going with someone who is pregnant, one, take lots of water. Although it is air-conned inside, you are walking around a lot and it is tiring. I think I did over 10,000 steps by the end of it. There's a lot to see, so you do move around a lot, and sometimes you can't get to a certain bit in an area you're at, so you might backtrack on yourself and go back to it. So do be prepared. Yeah, there's a lot of walking involved, so do take a lot of drinks and some snacks or some lunch. The food at the Backlot Cafe, it's reasonable. You can actually get a menu on the Warner Brothers Studios website. I think it's about £17 for a burger, fries and a drink, I think, off the top of my head. We didn't actually eat there, so I'm not sure. The kids' meal portions are £8, and you get a very small burger, it's probably about that big, with an apple juice and a small bag of fries. So again, it's very expensive. They do sell the butterbeer as well, so you can get a commemorative cup for your sundae or your butterbeer. If you do that, there is a little trough just outside where you can rinse those out and take those home with you. The only other thing I would say, if you're pregnant, wear comfortable clothes, as you probably are anyway. Wear comfortable shoes, but also seating, it is there. It's not very often though, and a lot of people will just sit and not move. That's one thing I found. I'm not expecting people to move for me because I'm pregnant, but typically people do. But there were a lot of international schools there, and the seating got taken up very, very quickly. So just be aware that it's very tiring for a day, because if you're like me, we had to travel over 2 hours, which is tiring anyway. Then you're doing a lot of walking, there's not much sitting as well. Also, I don't think I know that the cafes at the beginning, there's a frog cafe, it doesn't sell like fizzy drinks or anything, so make sure you take that sort of thing if you want that, or you'll have to get something from the back lot. But that's it, guys. That's kind of like my rundown of the tour. Now, I will insert some photos of the tour, as I said, so you kind of do get to see. Now, again, I told you my reasons why I didn't film, but also I don't want to spoil it for anyone who is going to go. I do think if you like the franchise, or even you're just into filmmaking, I think it's such an interesting thing to go and see. The staff are incredibly knowledgeable. They will always help you where you can. And if you have any needs, to be getting around, then you absolutely, they're just there to help. So yes, if you get a chance, do go. Tickets are fairly expensive, about £50, but obviously that is to maintain the studios, keep them open and stuff like that. And as the Harry Potter TV series gets going, you'll probably find that the studios may be closed more regularly, or even that more builds will pop up around, which will be those sets being built as well. So there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up there. But that's it, guys. Like I said, I do have a podcast. I do try and release maybe once or twice a month. This is a bit less scheduled than my normal content, but do check that out. It's just candid conversations about how we really feel about franchises, things we do and don't like, stuff like that. But until next time, you take care.